Okay, imagine this. A typical hardworking man going to work as a janitor day in and day out, lives a frugal lifestyle, doesn't buy anything luxurious, drives a second-hand Toyota Yaris, and even uses safety pins to hold his coat together. On top of that, he cuts his own firewood. Basically, just your average, ordinary guy making an average salary. Now, the question is, how much do you think he accumulated when he passed away at age 92? $8 million! Isn't that crazy? You heard that right? $8 million! In 2015, a community in Vermont woke up to find out that Mr. Ronald Read, a retired gas station attendant and janitor, turned out to have worth nearly $8 million when he passed away at age 92. And what's incredible and amazing about Mr. Read is that he donated $6 million to his local library and hospital. Just an amazing guy. So now, are you wondering, how did he do it? And the key here is that anyone can do it. You may be thinking now, oh, maybe he had a successful side business, or maybe he won the lottery. Wrong. There are 3 things that he did to accumulate $8 million, which you can do as well. First thing, he had a commitment to wealth, so he chose to live a frugal lifestyle, which meant that he lived below his means. Essentially, he was driving an old and inexpensive car, kept his old coat together with safety pins so he doesn't buy new clothes and fall into the fast fashion that we have today. He didn't dine out frequently. The most is that dining at his inexpensive local cafes. Basically, he's a minimalist. He doesn't fall into the consumerism culture where he buys this and that. And his hobbies were free as well. He enjoyed chopping wood, which also saved him some money on heating. And lastly, he avoided buying books by visiting the local library. Now, second thing he did was he invested wisely. This meant that he invested in big blue chip companies like Procter & Gamble, JP Morgan, General Electric, AT&T, Bank of America, General Motors, Johnson & Johnson, and etc. These are the top companies in United States. And they all have dividend payouts. So what he did was he kept learning and reading about investments, and he loves reading the Wall Street Journal on a regular basis because the more you know about investing, the better investor you will become. And number 3, which is the last thing that he did, was he was patient as he invested for the long term. He aimed to buy and hold for the long run. Basically, he bought and held for decades, and we're talking about decades. As Warren Buffett has said, if you're not willing to own a stock for 10 years, don't even thinking about owning it for 10 minutes. So that was it. Those were the 3 things that he did. Sounds simple, right? I mean, there was no special skills required. There was no super intelligence. You don't have to be a 6-figure income to become a multi-millionaire. And you definitely don't need to become a next Elon Musk to come up with the best electrical car, or Mark Zuckerberg about coming up with Facebook. Essentially, anyone can do it. And Mr. Read is a living proof of this. Now, you might be thinking, well, he did it, doesn't mean I can do it. Okay, let's go through an example. Let's say you start today and you put $400 a month for the next 50 years. I know 50 years is a long time, but you now think about it. Our average life expectancy in the United States is about 86 to 90, depending on female or male. So if you start at 20, 50 years, you'll only be at 70, which you'll probably still be healthy and want to travel around the world or doing what you enjoy. So let's start. $400 every month for the next 50 years. So $400 times 12 months is $4,800. So each year, basically, you have to put in close to $5,000 into investments. And then in 50 years, that would account to $240,000, okay? So you put in $240,000 into the stock market. Now, what do you think it will become at the end of the 50-year period? $5 million. Yes, you heard that right. $400 every month for the next 50 years will give you $5 million. So you start today at 20, $400 a month. By the time you get to 70, you will have $5 million. And this is without doing anything. And of course, this is based on a 10% rate of return on the stock market, which has been the actual return for the last 40 years. And now, what do you think will happen if you invested for 65 years? So if you are 20 right now and you invest till when you are 85, what do you think it will be? $23 million. You see the difference? Just another 15 years from 50 to 65, you go from $5 million to $23 million. So imagine this. Wouldn't you want to start investing for your kids or your grandkids? I mean, I surely wish my parents did that when I was born, because by the time I'm 65, I would have lots of money and I don't even have to do anything. I mean, you know, I want to be productive in society and all that. But just imagine if you can generate that wealth and leave it for your generations to come so that none of your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids have to worry financially. What an amazing life. This was such an eye-opener for me when I first learned about it. It's the power of compound interest. And the longer you invest, the more money you accumulate. And you gotta start young. So now, do you have what it takes to accumulate this wealth? If you want this, then what you need to do is tighten up your belt and start saving. You gotta carve out money every month and put it into the stock market. Start building your wealth. Your future self will thank you greatly, and your future generations will also thank you greatly. Just imagine 20, 30, 40 years down the road, you have a comfortable nest egg where you can enjoy life without working for money and just travel around the world or do whatever you want by spending time with your loved ones or having hobbies that you enjoy doing and not having to work. What an amazing life. And if you want to grow your wealth faster, you can adopt the extreme frugality where you save more money or you earn more money and you put more into the stock market every month. And that's why a lot of the people on the FIRE movement, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early, they save 50 to 90% of their income. And I also talk about why I save 65% of my income in this video. You can check that out where I break down my income and expenses. Just know, living below your means is a choice because you're committed to building wealth. It's only temporary, and just think what a huge reward you will have at the end of that period. Always remember your commitment to building wealth, and it will keep you going. I mean, obviously this is a really boring, definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme, but the key here is that anyone can do it if you are just willing to put money into the stock market and wait. That is it. There is no need for the next best business idea or new inventions. The path to wealth is not sexy. It is a long road ahead, but just know that once you get there, you will have accumulated a massive wealth. And Mr. Read is a living proof of that any ordinary man can do it, as he was working as a gas station attendant and a janitor with just average salary or even below average salary. It is what you know and what you do with your money that makes a huge difference at the end of the road. The goal is to be rich, not look rich, okay? Let's repeat it. The goal is to be rich and not look rich. Mr. Read is a smart, disciplined, and selfless individual. What an amazing human being, as he donated $6 million of his net worth to his local library and hospital when he passed away. So, are you ready to take action and start investing today? If so, check out my next video on Warren Buffett's #1 investing advice so that you know what to buy in the stock market. Then just set it and forget it. You will accumulate massive wealth after a few decades. Don't touch it, let it grow. Time flies. Before you know it, you'll be a multi-millionaire. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day and a financially blossoming life. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.